Hi, I'm Srikant Pragada. In this video, I explain the difference between shallow copy and deep copy in Python. We also talk about what happens if you simply assign a list to another list. That is called assignment between two objects. Well, to get started, shallow copy is where you are just making a copy of one object to another object, but the copy is only at the first level. It doesn't go deeper than that. Deep copy, as you can see here, is recursively making copies of all nested objects. Well, if you don't understand what it means, no problem. Let's get into the details. This is a simple copy. It's not exactly a copy. It is a mere assignment between two variables. So I'm assigning list 1 to list 2. This is my list 1, which contains two nested lists. And this is referencing the first list, this referencing second list. Now these two are the elements of the first list. And when I assign L1 to L2, we are simply creating one more variable which stores the same address as the first list. So wherever you have this, address is copied into L2. So if you see the addresses of L1, L2, they are exactly the same. So any change you make to L1 is reflected in L2 because you are making a change to L1 and your L2 is referring to the same list, so it sees all the changes. Okay, this is simple assignment. Let's talk about shallow copy. You can make a copy of a list using copy method of list object. And what happens? This is your original list, which contains two references pointing to two more objects. Now, when you create a shallow copy, you just make a copy of this here. So you are having a copy of that. So you are having those two references placed here, but they continue to refer to these two different lists. So what are the implications of this? When you go and make a change here, after making a shallow copy, if you are making changes to L1, the first one, then you are changing that here. And you are making another change here. The nested object is being changed. Now, if you go and look at L2, it is containing a reference to this nested object. So all the changes you make to the nested object are accessible to L2. We got a copy of only the first level objects, and this still refers to the nested list. So if you go and print L1, L2, L1 you see all the changes you made, but in L2 you don't see this because I got a copy of the list. But the problem here is this reference is still referencing the original nested list. So whatever changes you are making there, those changes are still available to this because it's not a copy of this list. It is just a reference to that list. This is called shallow copy. And if you don't want this, you want something deeper than this, then you need to go for deep copy. In deep copy, first and foremost, import copy module. Just import the standard module called copy, and it has a function called deep copy. And it is going to take an object, it will make a deep copy of that, and that is stored in L2. Now, interestingly, if this is your L1, L2 has the copy of the list plus the copy of all those nested lists. Look at this. So you have not just a copy of the first list and its objects, but also it goes down to next level and it is creating one more copy of that list and this list. So you have a completely new copy of your list, including nested objects, means including nested list. Now, if you make some changes to your L1, L1 is being modified. The nested list is modified, but none of these changes would appear here. It is still the same. Whatever you had when you made a copy, you still have the same, and all these changes do not affect L2. So this is called deep copy. And to make a deep copy of any object, just use deep copy function of copy module, import it, call that, give an object, you get a deep copy of it. That's it. That's all you need to do. Hope you learned something new. Keep learning. All the very best.